Hey, what's going on, DDO players? Axel here. So today, the executive producer of DDO, Severlin, released the 2019 Producers Letter. These are released every so often, about every year. The DDO team will put these out, and it just usually gives announcements and expectations for the year, what's going to come out. There's pretty much always some new announcements. This year's letter is not very long, so I'll just kind of go through it and read it to you. Also, we'll just talk about it as well, especially the new things that were announced. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning. Greetings, I'm excited today to share a look at our 2019 roadmap featuring a new expansion, new quests, and new race and more. DDO enters its 13th year with a passionate player base and a development team dedicated to making DDO great, and it couldn't be done without you. You've known about our plans for an expansion into Shawn for a while now, and last week we were able to start sharing more information with you, including the debut of our first Shawn-related preview material to our public preview server, and an announcement that we will begin accepting pre-orders for Masterminds of Shawn in March. And then he lists the link here of that website. And one thing I wanted to correct from my last video, I think I said in that video that the expansion was coming out in March. The expansion was coming out in March. It's not coming out in March. It doesn't look like. It's just the pre-orders are coming out in March, so you can buy it by March. But it sounds like it's not going to come out till April. I'm not totally sure. I don't think they've listed a date. But let's go ahead and continue. We've known about this stuff. Severlin continues. We intend to follow up Shawn with a new adventure pack set in the City of Towers, but you won't need the Shawn expansion to run these quests. So that just basically means that they're going to have a new adventure pack in the area of the expansion. So that would be equivalent to, say, if they released a new adventure pack in Ravenloft, in the Ravenloft area. So it's just going to be an adventure pack set in the expansion area. So I'm assuming from this that it's going to be something you'll have to buy in addition to the expansion. But on the upside, if you didn't buy the expansion, you won't have to buy the expansion to get this adventure pack. So you can just buy the adventure pack without the expansion and still access and everything. He continues. Update 43's adventure pack set will be free to VIPs and season pass holders, so as normal. Update 44 will introduce our next class as well. More information about what class this is will be under wraps for now, but we will have much more to share later this year. So that's really cool to hear. It's been a long time since we've gotten a new class. I know it seems like yesterday since they introduced Warlocks, but Warlocks actually came out in June 2015. That's crazy. That's almost 4 years ago. It's like they still feel like a new class to me. But it's been a long time actually since we've gotten a new class. We've gotten a lot of new races since that time, but as far as new classes, no. So that's really cool. That's probably the biggest announcement in this letter, that a new class will be coming. I have no idea what it could be. I'm hoping personally that it is something either hybrid or something more melee focused, since the last class was a caster class. I think that would be cool. Let's see. Severlin continues. Update 45 will arrive later in the year as well and feature our next classic adventure pack. We don't feel it would be too early to talk about it, so we're pleased to announce that Keep on the Borderlands will offer a new experience for players adventuring at the lower levels of the game. The classic pack will also feature several other dungeons similar to what we did with White Point Mountain and other tales. So that's really cool. That Keep on the Borderlands is a classic module. I believe it was from the late 70s, early 80s, written by Gary Gygax. So that's really cool. It's in pen and paper. From what I actually looked up today and read a bit about it, it's a lower character adventure dungeon. So it's like levels 1 to 3, I believe, in pen and paper, as not a dungeon, but it is an experience. So it's a lower level experience in pen and paper, and looks like they're going to do the exact same thing in DDO. So this is going to serve a couple purposes. They're going to put it in as obviously another classic module. I mean, players love this. They've continued to do it. They're going to continue to do it, I would imagine, in the future. But it's going to serve as an alternative to Korthos. So Korthos is the starter area. So it sounds like if you want to start reincarnating, you want to go through Korthos. If you want to redo the starter area, you can alternately do Keep on the Borderlands. That's cool to provide just, I guess, an alternative for people that want to reincarnate a lot. Though I have to say that you didn't really have to run Korthos. It was pretty easy to you didn't have to run all of it. It's pretty easy to just go straight to the harbor, but in any case, it will be an alternate path if you want to reincarnate and run that instead of Korthos for the 1000th time. And also will probably be, I hope they build into it probably a better introduction for new players. So maybe it'll help new player retention. But they didn't say that in the letter, but hopefully they do something with that, because I think they could improve Korthos a lot. They could really do a lot to make the game be more accessible for new players. But in any case, this is not going to be an expansion level thing like they did with Sharn or Ravenloft. Says Severlin says here they're going to do something similar to what they did with White Plume Mountain and Other Tales. So it's probably going to be basically the form of an adventure pack. So I would expect probably like 3 to 5 quests, probably no adventure area, probably just a standard adventure pack size. Severlin continues. Some other things we're hoping to do this year is work on Epic Destinies with a few targeted changes per destiny, along with additional work to Knights of the Chalice and the debut of a new racial variant. So that's really cool. That's probably the second, other than Keep on the Borderlands, probably the next biggest announcement would be a new racial variant. What could it be? I will say that it's I highly doubt it's an elf variant, since we got Wood Elves not too long ago. There's already half elves and Morning Lord and everything in the game, so especially since we just got Wood Elves, I highly doubt it's going to be another elf variant. But I also kind of doubt it would be a premium race variant. I would guess, if I had to guess, it's either going to be a human, halfling, or dwarf variant. I would like to see Durgar for dwarf as a dwarf variant. If you don't know what that is, if you've run the quests like quests in Ataraxia's Haven, basically they're the kind of underground dwarves. So basically the drought equivalent to elves would be the same as the Durgar equivalent to dwarves. They're kind of the darker skinned dwarf, underground dwarfs. So I think that would be cool for a dwarf variant. There aren't any other versions of dwarfs, just the base dwarf. So that would be cool. But again, it could be human. I think it's either going to be a halfling, human, or dwarf. Probably halfling or dwarf, if I had to guess. I doubt they would do it for a premium race, but they could. It's possible. What else? I think that's about it. Sutherland says, as always, we are honored to be the place where you enjoy the most authentic D&D experience in video gaming, and we will continue to work hard to earn your patronage. So what else? They also mentioned here, Sutherland said that they are going to do some work on Epic Destinies. So that's very cool. There's definitely some balance that could be done. I mean, there are some destinies that are no-brainers. It would be nice to see more choices, and there's some that no one really uses, like Fate Singer, for example. I don't see many people using that. It's a pretty weak destiny as far as I've read, as far as bards go. So they could definitely do with some balancing there. So that would be cool if we saw some buffs for the weaker destinies to make them more competitive. They also mentioned Knights of the Chalice, so it sounds like they're going to do some enhancement work to probably help balance Paladins a little bit. So this will be the second, I believe, pass on Paladins. I believe when they originally started to do the enhancement passes, Paladins were the second race, I believe, or second class to be hit. I think Bards were the first. So that's interesting. That's neat. They didn't talk about it here, but I believe the team has also mentioned they're planning to do some work on Sorcerer. So, and I would expect that to happen and go along with Tiefling that we'll be getting. So I would now, I'm not saying this for sure. It's just what I've read and heard is that sorcerers are going to be reworked as well. So I would really expect that to go along with Tieflings, since Tieflings are a caster race. It would make sense. So maybe we'll see that in the not too distant future. So yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. The letter was a little bit shorter than I was expecting, but they gave a decent number of announcements. They didn't say too much about the adventure packs other than Keep on the Borderlands, but from what they've said here is we can expect as normal. It sounds like a new adventure pack with each quarter, which is normally what we get. Every 3 to 4 months we get an adventure pack. So I would expect that to work as well. But I guess, yeah, in summary, we've got Keep on the Borderlands as a low-level dungeon. Unfortunately, from the wording here, it sounds like Keep on the Borderlands will not have a legendary or like high-level epic equivalent. It's probably just going to be a low-level dungeon, since they specifically mentioned it being an alternative to Korthos. So that's kind of a downside, that if you're kind of an in-game player, you probably won't get to play that. Again, they didn't confirm that, but I'm just assuming based on the wording. The new racial variant we talked about already, so that's coming. That's cool. New class, who knows what that'll be. We got some enhancement work. Specifically, they mentioned Paladin, and then finally, it sounds like they're going to have an adventure pack each quarter from the wording here. So yeah, that's basically what was announced, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Be happy to read those and respond as always. And yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Let me know what you think about the producer's letter and what you're excited for. Yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. Take care.